Syrian Arab Army units in cooperation with the Lebanese National Resistance take full control of strategic areas in Qalamoun. President Bashar al-Assad meets members of the Holy Synod of the Universal Syriac Orthodox Church. And Syrian TV carries out a live tour in several areas recording the daily lives of Syrian citizens. Good afternoon. Syrian Arab Army units in cooperation with the Lebanese National Resistance took full control of many areas in al-Qalamoun in Damascus countryside. The army eliminated all members of terrorist group who were trying to break from inside the Lebanese territories into Al-Arida village in Tel Kalakh countryside. In Palmyra's countryside, an army unit killed ISIS terrorists and destroyed their vehicles. In Al-Samamat area in Daraa, army units killed a number of Nusra terrorists and destroyed their vehicles west of Atman town. Earlier, army units took full control of 16 building blocks southwest of Syria and Tel complex in Daraa al-Balad area. An army unit killed a number of Nusra terrorists and destroyed their vehicles in Rashid Waterwells compound in the countryside of Suwaida. Earlier, army units fought several attempts by terrorists to infiltrate into Al-Tha'la airport, eliminating at least 100 terrorists, in addition to destroying dozens of armored vehicles. It is worth pointing out that the terrorists targeted Syrian television crew who were near Al-Tha'la airport, killing the driver and injuring the reporter and the cameraman. The Foreign Patriots Ministry addressed two identical letters to the UN Secretary General and head of the Security Council on the horrific crime committed by al-Nusra and the Ahrar al-Sham terrorist groups in the village of Qalb Lawza in Idlib countryside, stressing that such terrorist acts represent a continuation of the methodic and barbaric war against the Syrian people, which affected all segments of the Syrian society. The Council of Ministers denounced the massacre against the citizens of Qalb Lawza in Idlib countryside. Prime Minister Dr. Wael al-Halaqi stressed that such an ugly crime is another evidence that there is no such a thing as moderate terrorists, as all these gangs adhere to the same criminal Takfiri mentality. Dr. al-Halaqi held the country supporting terrorism responsible for such crimes against the Syrian people, especially the role played by Qatar, Turkey and Saudi Arabia in financing and supporting these terrorist groups in Syria. He voiced confidence that the Syrian people will achieve victory in the battle against terrorism due to the heroic sacrifice of the Syrian Arab Army. Hezbollah Party and Amal movement denounced the ugly crime committed by Nusra terrorists affiliated with al-Qaeda in Idlib countryside. They stressed that such Takfiri mentality can only manifests itself through committing massacres against innocent civilians in violation of all human and religious norms. The Hezbollah party pointed out that much patience is needed during these hard times, urging unity and steadfastness against Israeli plans to spread sedition and chaos in the whole region. President Bashar al-Assad met members of the Holy Synod of the Universal Syriac Orthodox Church, headed by More Ignatius Ephraim II. The president said that the terrorist aggression against the region and the Takfiri extremist mentality target the diverse social and cultural fabric of the region as a whole, and Syria in particular. He stressed that the Syrian people succeeded in confronting this backward mentality by adhering to their history. The major factor in facing this extremist terrorist ideology, which does not recognize nationalities or borders, is through sticking to the moral values. Those values are characterized by openness, tolerance, and freedom. For their part, members of the Holy Synod stressed that Syria has been a land for all the Syrians with their various affiliations. They voiced their confidence that the Syrian people will be able to achieve victory and defeat terrorism. In Moscow, the Conference of Russia and the Islamic World kicked off with the participation of Mufti of the Republic, Ahmed Badreddin Hassoun. Many muftis and religious figures from various Islamic countries are taking part in the conference. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov opened the meeting, saying Russia is willing to coordinate with the Islamic countries in fighting terrorism and settling disputes through peaceful means. Addressing the meeting on behalf of Russian President Vladimir Putin, Lavrov said that Russia considers the Islamic countries as strategic partners in the dialogue of culture. Earlier, Mufti Hassoun called during a press conference held in Moscow for unified efforts to stand up to the international terrorism that has become a threat to everyone, warning that the West is using media and exploiting some religious forums to distort facts. Russia celebrates its National Day, which marks the first conference of the people's representatives, during which they announced the national sovereignty of Russia on its territories in 1990. Several Russian cities and towns marked the occasion by organizing parades and festivals all across the country. On this occasion, the Russian embassy in Damascus will hold a reception at the Meroz Hotel. 10 Yemeni citizens were killed and others injured, including women and children, following Saudi airstrikes on civilian targets in Sada and Sana'a. A Yemeni source pointed out that Saudi warplanes launched a series of airstrikes on the capital, killing 6 citizens and destroying 5 houses. A number of ancient buildings were destroyed or partly damaged. In retaliation, the Yemeni army shelled with rockets Al-Dud military camp inside the Saudi territories, destroying a number of military vehicles. And finally, our TV camera has conducted a live tour in several areas of the capital Damascus and other Syrian cities, recording the daily life of Syrian citizens who are leading normal life despite the terrorist war against them. With this, we conclude our news for today. To watch our news bulletin again, you may visit our Facebook page, Syria TV channels. You may also watch the Syrian satellite channel live on YouTube. Thank you for watching and goodbye.